So over here in the front of the room, we actually have an 8-foot Polyvision walk and talk interactive board. All right. It is on a track, so it slides back and forth on the main whiteboard here. So if you really wanted to just use a lot of the whiteboard area, you could slide it out of the way to either side or to the center, whatever's comfortable for you. I think because of proximity to the computer, if you're going to be projecting on it, we want to try to push it as far over to the left as it makes sense. Okay, so right about here is a pretty good position. You're about 6 to 8 inches from the end of the whiteboard itself. All right. Now the power and connectivity cables are kept in the room. There's actually just a little power brick here. You'll see the little pinhole at the bottom of the board. Thank you. And then you'll also see a USB connection at the bottom of the board. All right, so you want to plug in there. When you plug in power, you will hear a bit of a doo-doo-doo sound. Okay, so that just tells you you're getting a power connection. There's a outlet right here, so it makes it very easy to plug it in. The USB cable, the other end of it actually plugs into the PC itself here in the room. All right. Now, once you plug that in and the computer's on, and maybe we can get some screen captures to add to all of this information, you'll actually see a little icon that looks like an interactive whiteboard at the bottom of your monitor. That will initially have a red slash across it. All right. It's just telling you the whiteboard is not finding the computer. All right. When you plug the USB into the computer, it'll take a moment to recognize it, and then that red slash will go away, and you'll hear a bit of a happy sound. You'll hear a doo-doo-doo again. All right. And you'll get green light recognition here on the board. All right. So at this point, you've got power, you've got connectivity, you're good to go. Okay. In this state, it is ready to use. Okay. So in this state, you can use it to simply capture dry erase marker notes. It's a touch sensitive surface. There's actually circuit boards on the bottom, it's X, Y, you know, that whole thing. So it knows where somebody is touching its surface. It senses that pressure. All right. Now it will automatically capture any notes in black unless you tell it otherwise. All right, so if you just pick up a marker, even if you're writing in red and you write all day long, if you don't tell it that you're writing in red, it's going to capture in black. If you don't care, that's okay. But if you do, if you want to distinguish different parts of what you're writing with color, then you want to at least tell the board what color you want it to recognize. There's a remote control here on the side of the board. And right about the bottom fourth of the remote control, you'll see 4 buttons: black, red, blue, green. These are standard dry erase colors. And when the walk and talk is recognizing a dry erase marker, those are the colors that it can recognize. So if you start drawing with brown or orange, it's really going to default to the last button you pushed. So if the last button you pushed was red and you pick up brown, it's going to be red. Make sense? Okay. So at this point, all you really have to do is grab your marker and start writing. All right. The entire board is capturable. So you can use all the real estate, as long as you're not vertically challenged like myself. At this point, you can capture all this information. Okay? If you notice down here, as soon as I started writing on the board, this little pen light turned red. So it's recognizing that you're doing something with the board. All right? What I can do then is take the remote control and push the save button. And we'll go through all this functionality in just a moment. So if I push save, what you should see is a little pop-up box on your computer. And it's saying that it's saving that file to the computer that it's connected to. It automatically defaults to the My Documents folder. That's easy to change. So if you wanted to save captures per class, for a semester, per instructor, whatever you wanted to do, and we'll go through the settings portion of that. It's very easy to change that pretty much on the fly. Okay? So what it did now is it actually grabbed a capture of what I was writing on the board. And I'm just going to open that back up to see. Yeah. So it automatically, you can't see this, but it actually automatically defaulted to black. So all the red writing that I did was actually in black. Now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go ahead and press the red button and do the same thing. Start writing. There we go. All right. And I'm going to hit save again. It's going to take a second capture. Oh, it did not. Let's try that again. There we go. Oops. So what it did at that point is everything else was in black, and then when I wrote Moraga and I pushed the red button before I started writing, it actually captured it in red. Okay, can you kind of see that from there? Okay. So then, you just use a standard eraser for that. Now, when you're using this as a dry erase board, it is a soft surface. It is Teflon coated, so it will come up, but it's going to take a little bit more TLC. You'll want to clean it a little bit more often. The more often they use it with dry erase, you'll just want to regularly come in and clean it, and that's a very simple process. Just mostly water with just a little bit of cleanser. Very light cleaning solution. Try to avoid any of the cleaning sprays, because what those will actually do is still keep a layer on top of the board surface. And then every time you write on it, it just kind of keeps building up, and you'll end up getting some ghosting. But it can always pretty much go back to new, just with a little bit of cleaning. Okay? So that's using the board. And usually, actually, what I do is there's an erase all button, and I'll usually hit that just to make sure it kind of wipes the memory. Just to kind of get a fresh start. All right? So that's as simple as it is when it comes to just using this as a dry erase capture, or put in quotes, copy board.